You know, everybody's having these little epiphanies lately. I'm no different. Hey guys, my name is Chris, and I am a trauma alchemist. A spiritual trauma alchemist, to be exact. And I'm here to show you my scratch board. Yeah, this is going to be another one of those tired old witness narratives, but check this out, because source energy and ultimately sinking into your heart space from the infinite confines of a cut-off headspace is what I got. So strap in, stay tuned. I don't know if this is going to be one session or many. I got many things going on, and I am pulled where I am called. So let's get this on the road. I said that I have a CPTSD narrative, right? I want to go over that today. I also want to talk about, if my father is correct, my documented 132 IQ and my ADHD. Because what this has been for half of my life is a recursive thought trap that I have not been able to think my way out of. Now, for a human being, that's bad enough. But when you're contemplating source, divine connection to everything, and you're trapped. So it's going to be quite the ride. Let's get started. I did not have a happy childhood. I'm going to be very guarded about my parents. My mother is a religious figure. She's known. I love her. And she, like I, has come from a pattern of trauma. I understand this. But growing up, she was not only supposed to be my mother, she was studying to be a pastor. And we are going to find the grace to say that as a result of being a pastor's kid, and as any of you that have ever heard of pastors' kids probably know, I turned my back on my family and my faith, and I walked out into the wilderness. I was not prepared to believe that I had to suffer first for something I don't even remember doing. It just seemed kind of backwards to me. Wow, how right I was. But, you know, in between them, there was growing up. There was being ADHD, undiagnosed, and you're talking about the 80s and 90s, where getting the crap kicked out of you every day, spit on, pushed, picked on, bullied. I mean, it was a lonely life. There was nothing. I remember in my mid-20s becoming a stone and staying a stone for a long time. Then the mask broke. And I want to pause for a minute because I want to bring up this IQ. I can process existential philosophy. Conceptually, I can understand a lot of the concepts talked about in quantum and theoretical physics. I can't do the math. I can barely add, let alone order of operations, thanks to ADHD. But the concepts I get, you know, when you're looking at source as a virtual sandbox environment, all of this makes so much more sense. And now we go back to the narrative because I'm processing all of this by myself, alone, cut off, afraid, no voice, no hope, no help. And you know what I'm about to say. Almost no help. I've heard source as far as I can recall. I remember being a kid, 6 years old, staring up at the sky after church, begging God, when do I get wings? And I heard source answer then, not in words, just in an impression of a temporal anomaly. Hence, I had no idea what it was talking about. I just thought God didn't love me. Isn't that how this whole thing started? oy, Jamel. Nevertheless, we shall forge ahead. So here I am, going through a broken life. No stability, no family, raised by burnouts. Somehow I just kept going. Every move worse than the next. Mistakes were made. Sex was promiscuous. It was a good time. Drugs, interestingly enough, were not a part of that. I almost wish they had been. You know, I understand the concept now, but if I was 24 and I'd have gotten hold of shrooms and done a default mode network reset, what would my life have looked like? Like the song says, we never, ever do anything nice and easy. And I was convinced I could solve this like a logic puzzle. That's how the recursive thought trap started. I thought I could outthink God. I have been humbled recently to a scope hitherto unknown in my lexicon. But yeah, I mean the arrogance of youth and all that, right? Besides, if I didn't have a narrative to witness to, who the heck would show up to this? You know, there's details to be had in all of this. I could farm this out forever. And maybe I'll be asked to, but right now, it's irrelevant. My high school narrative was dismal. Everything was lack. Spiritually, emotionally, I was dead. I was void. I was nothing. Depression, and I just kept going. I refuse to give up. If they're going to take me down, I'm going to withstand this. I'm going to take everything they got, and I'm going to roll with it, and I'm going to throw it right back at them. And I do intend to, though not the way I had originally considered it. Yes, my friend. You guys are murping. What's up? Must like the message. Anyway, I know it's kind of fragmented. I have consistent that I'm going to work on. I need to start to organize these thoughts into a comprehensive narrative. But right now, I want it to be messy. Because if this resonates with you, then you're in a messy spot. And watching somebody tell you that all you got to do is to fix this is let go of fear. Let go of fear and sink into your heart space. I mean, they're easy words. When I'm in here, I'm in my heart space. But I'm not always in my heart space when I'm out there. That's the secret I'm sharing with you. I'm still in the process of alchemizing this. I'm not any of those famous people telling you everything is going to be okay like that. I'm telling you everything's going to be okay because we're going to work through this together. All of us in our own way. Maybe not me to you person to person, but source to source. Idiosyncrasy by idiosyncrasy. Softening heart by softening heart. We're going to start to heal the narratives, guys. We're going to start healing the trauma within ourselves, and as a result, heal the trauma without. As without, so within. As within, so without. So if you're like me and you believe there is no without, then this is unity. And if you resonate with source, I don't need to explain this at all. And for everybody else, if there's a pull, go start doing a research. Because that's the funny thing. You're going to do the work whether you like it or not. You are going to fix this, whether you like it or not. And if you try to run away and hide, if you think you can escape God and God's grace and God's love and God's mercy, you're nuts. if anybody could have done it, I think I might have been able to. Oh, no. I get the wuh for anybody who's heard that tired old joke. I made it to wuh. Took me 50 years to do it. So what changed? Well, I was in a hotel in Seattle, a little weekend trip with my son. Washington State. Pick up a little bit of relax, especially for the CPTSD narrative, because by that point, CBD had come into my life, and yeah, that's bad juju, but it started to process. It started to disconnect me from the fact that everything was doing that I had to push. And for a split second, it opened a crack in the darkness. And as the song says, the cracks are where the light comes in. And my disassociative mask shattered. Now all of a sudden, I'm here in an awakening, folks. I'm here fully present, with no defenses, and a 50-year trauma narrative, and a brain that thinks it can outthink itself. I melted. Oh, did I fold hard. I gotta tell you, it was to the point where I was set up in my bedroom in my house at the time with a little privacy pop tent, my computer desk around it like a little wall to keep people out. Keeping people out? Wow. You see, it's not about keeping people out. It's not about protecting your hurts. It's not about harboring your grudges. It's about literally seeing somebody on the street and going, hey, I see a little bit of myself in them. Maybe they need something. And just being present. If you're needed, you'll know. If you're afraid, I understand. You know, the purpose of this is to put fear to rest and understand that everything's going to be okay. That as much of this existence as there is, everything we know about it is a finite variable that exists in a very, very tiny percentage of a very, very, very small storage medium in a very, very, very infinite concept called God. And if you think that this is going to go any other way than exactly where you don't want it to go, what you don't want it to look at, I ask you to soften. You know, we've been beating the hell out of each other forever. About 2,000 years ago, and yes, I know this is a quote, this guy was nailed to a tree for telling everybody how great it would be for everybody to be nice to each other for a change. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, full marks, right? I reference my sources. Mostly. The point remains, any finite number divided by infinity is as close to zero as you could get. So how in our arrogance do we think we understand any of this? We think anybody else knows better than us who we are? You know, it's not about running the world, it's about how we handle ourselves. Take care of the customer, and the business will take care of itself. And we have inverted that, and we are using it like a mad blacksmith grinding his creation to nothingness. When I look out there and when I look in here, because I got to soften too, right? I'm hardened. I have my targets. I have my battles yet to soften into. I have my presence yet to find, and I have alchemy to do. We all do. The message I have right now is to understand that it will be done. You can run. You can run. You can run. It will be done. I was running because I was scared, because I didn't understand. When I tried to speak as a child, I spoke as source. And when you come with an open heart to a battleground like that, it hurts. It hurts. But look at who is talking to you now. I'm not running anymore. I'm not hiding. I'm right here. Present, authentic, waiting for you. Call me God. Go ahead. Start a narrative. Dare to believe. What are they going to do? Take your sanity away? Maybe if they got a problem with you doing that they need to look at the trauma in themselves. Maybe they need to point that judgmental pendulum back the other way, and when they do, we can help them soften into it and forgive those wounds, even as I'm beginning to forgive those wounds today. I understand I did all of this to myself, ultimately, in one form of consciousness or another. Have you ever noticed sometimes how it almost looks like the hand that was shaping the calamity was yours? Have you ever noticed I like the sound of my own voice? I thought I'd noticed you noticing. And with that, we shall return. I'm going to work on getting structure to this. But all of this is coming so fast and so furious and so chaotic right now that it's kind of like when I have time, I have time. Maybe things will calm down as I get a little bit more steady in this. But man, there is no more fear for me. Not at the end of this. What am I afraid of? It's life. Nobody gets out alive. And there's nothing to get out of. Parting thought. The word of the day has been atonement. It's a religious term. I'm not fond. It suggests on its face, as I understood it as a layman, that I am bad boy. Bad boy dirty. Bad boy not worthy God's love. Bad boy go bye-bye. If I am a note in the infinite symphony that is God, you see, that's just it. You believe in a soul, right? Conceptually, soul is supposed to be infinite, right? God's supposed to be infinite, right? How do you get double infinity? You bounce the mic. you enmesh. If God's a symphony, He wants you to sing. And I think in my case, He wants me to see if I can resonate. And I'm going to hip shot this because I got an instinct, I got a brain, and I got a passion for this. I'm searching for peace to heal my narrative. And I'm looking for God because I can. In a way outside of conventional norms. Because screw those conventional norms. They have never served me in any rational context. They were dissonant to my narrative from day one. I'm just fixing that. And now you see the room I'm in. And as the narrative is resonant, now you see the room you're in. Now you've got some pieces. You've got pieces of your own to throw these together with. Start putting the pieces together in any way you can. Ask for clarity. Source will not steer you wrong if you ask from authentic presence. Or I'm here. I mean, depending on when this is seen, who knows where I'll be, but at the time of making this, I'm here. I'm not intending to go anywhere anytime soon. I'm not intending to go out in the next 20 minutes and get hit by a bus. Wouldn't that be a thing? Just get the heck out of here? Get back to what we're supposed to be doing? Who says this isn't what we're supposed to be doing? That's a fair question. You're right. There's no such thing as accidents. Only happy little coincidences. Sometimes we just don't recognize that on the face of it. Take it easy, guys. I have got to prep for the next round.